Hi there, I'm the Nintendork, and welcome to my Cave Story Let's Play. Now, this is my first Let's Play, so, forgive me if I'm making amateur mistakes and all that stuff. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of Cave Story or just don't know too much about it, I'll elaborate on it a little bit. Cave Story is one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely one of my favorite indie games. It was made all by one guy, Daisuke Maya, otherwise known as his online handle, Pixel. He started work on this game in 1999, he finished it in 2004. He made everything by himself, the story, level design, characters, music, the works. His description for the game just said how it's a jumping and shooting game, sort of similar to Mega Man, where you explore caves and there's a save system. Pretty humble. Anywho, let's start playing. Now, I'm playing on the Classic Controller Pro, which is really comfy, but I'm sort of not used to it because it makes X and Y shoot and A and B jump. So we're gonna start a new game, go on original, and start. Now we're receiving a transmission from this guy. He has green hair. His name is Kazuma. He's trying to talk to somebody named Sue, who's his sister. And he's in a shelter with nothing in it, and he's really hungry. Now we wake up in the start point. It's a small, dank, decrepit little cave. Nothing really much to do. You could jump around, you could save, you could use the save point, restore your health, but we already have full health, so we're gonna head out into the world of Cave Story. Now those little dark blue guys there are called critters. They jump around in this form, and they're more powerful ones later on. Now those spikes at the moment are going to do 5 damage, which will kill me at the moment. Now if you see those little bats, they're just that. They're called bats. The names in this game are very simple, unlike in Zelda, where the snakes are called ropes, the bats are called keys, all of that weird stuff. But nope, Cave Story does not mess around, so let's head around through the first cave, jump here, get past that critter in the back. Now we're gonna run into this little jaguar head building. This is the Hermit Gunsmith's house. He's sleeping, so we're gonna do the sensible thing. We're gonna do what a good person would do, and we're gonna loot him. I'm gonna take this old man's only material good, other than a desk and a chair. And we're gonna get another transition from Kazuma. He's trying to get in contact with his sister. So, let's go through this. He's very lonely. Now, this weapon we have here looks a bit pathetic. It's called the Power Star, or not the Power Star, sorry. It's called the Polar Star, and it's like, it's a mid-range weapon. Like, it's convenient, depending on what you need for it. Now, every time you beat an enemy, those little power crystals are going to come down. And they look like nachos, so I'm going to call them power nachos. I'm just going to collect those up. Hopefully I can get to level 2 before I get to the village. Get that power nacho. And kill the bat. Getting an awful lot of health here. I think the game respects my decision. Or not my decision making. I don't think the game respects my skill very much. Oh man. Get rid of these critters here. I feel kind of bad for that. They're pretty innocent. And that guy there, it's just called the door. Pretty sure there's only 1 or 2 of them in the entire game. Now for now, I'm just gonna go into the save room, restore my health, save up a bit. My real reasoning for doing this is so I can get more power nachos and level up the Polar Star. Now, if you didn't notice earlier, every time you take damage, you're going to lose power for your weapon. So if you take enough damage, you're going to lose a level. And that's honestly a really interesting system. Now, I leveled up my Polar Star, so we're going to head into Mimiga Village. But first, we're getting a transmission from Kazuma. Okie doke. That's a bit extreme. He's just kidding. He's just kidding. Old Kazuma. Classic Kazuma. Now we find ourselves in the Mimiga Village with 2 rabbit-like creatures, seemingly. in a little debacle here. Now, the one on the right is named Toriko. She's a young girl, Mimiga. Then the one on the left is named King, and he's in charge of the village. And then you probably scared the piss out of them because you fall from the sky and knock them out. Now you meet King. He's number 1 in the village, and it doesn't really mean much considering there's only really 6 of them there. So, yeah. And he doesn't like this Sioux person that Cosmo is trying to contact very much. So first things first, we're going to save them in Mimiga Village. Or, no, we're not. I'll wait for that. First off, we're going to get the map. Which is right over here. Open the treasure chest. And we're going to get the map system. Now this is very convenient for people who aren't very familiar with the level design of Cave Story. And if you press select, it'll just bring up the map, which kind of looks like the original Game Boy in a way. Now on the 3DS version, it'll show on the touch screen, which is pretty convenient in my opinion. But for now, we're gonna go over to the Yamashita farm and get a health expansion. Oh, all the way up here. And you'll see a bunch of flowers here. They're being watered. It's got yellow, white, even a little blue one. And we're gonna talk to this guy up here. He's gonna give us a little bit of exposition. As he just said, flowers are a very important food source in Mimiga's diet. But not the red flowers, because those will kill them. And those are going to be more important to the plot later on, but I'm not going to say anything about that. Sorry about that. Forgot to disable that sound. Alright, so from here, we're going to go over to the pond and meet another NPC, Mimiga. Or actually, no, there's one more down here, so let's go talk to him. He's just over here snacking. Startled him there. Oh, so he's going to talk to us about how he thinks, how his impression of Sue is. So, yep. She's staying in Arthur's house, which is to the bottom right. As you can see it. Flying dragons. Dragons that fly in the sky. Okie doke. Alright, so now we're going to head over to the fisherman's pond. Or pool, whatever. Reservoir. Okay, I was wrong in every respect. Now, this little fish here is called the chinfish. There's only one of them in the game, and he doesn't really do anything to harm you, so I don't see the reason in killing him, so I'm just going to go on my merry way. Oh, man. I could see Toriko over there. And she runs away. Because she's timid and... who wouldn't be scared if a giant... well, not a giant, like... a robot the size of you just, like, fell from the sky and... pile-drived you. The general consensus in the village is that Sue is pretty cute, so... and... as you can see, Sue is having some adjustment issues, so we're gonna run over to the little shack down here after a little piece of dialogue. Seems to be a pattern with Sue knocking King down. Let's talk to King. Now, King is understandably frustrated with Toriko, I suppose. But we're gonna head over to the shack. I was gonna go talk to another Mimiga, but we're gonna do that soon enough, so... you're gonna have to watch out for Toriko. She just runs out. One hit will subdue her. Then you just talk to her. And she thinks that we're the doctor, who's the guy that we just saw in the beginning with the crown and stuff. So So the doctor is the primary antagonist here. He kidnaps Mimiga and does really messed up stuff to them. He killed Toriko's older brother, who was in charge of the village before King was. Now you get to keep the pendant. And here comes Balrog. Now that's oh yeah, it's obviously a reference to the Kool-Aid Man. It used to be Huzzah in the original English patch for Cave Story, but I guess Nicalis just made it a reference to something the Burgerland people would get. I found you. It's no use hiding from me. Now that's Misery. Both of them are with the doctor. And Balrog, who's the big guy, looks like a TV. He was based off of a bar of soap, interestingly enough. Now, apparently, Misery doesn't have very good hearing comprehension because Toriko just said she's not Sue. Now, you get the option to fight Balrog here, which is cool, but I'm gonna do it because I want to get those power nachos, and it's a fun fight and a good way to get some practice in. Now, this is probably the easiest boss fight in this game, or one of the easiest at least, considering that did not take a long time at all. I think we're gonna get like 4 power nachos here. 5, I was wrong, but we're gonna keep going here. Now we're gonna go tell King or Jack that Toriko got kidnapped. Okay, wait, no, that's to the farm, never mind. I was wrong. And there's Jack. We're gonna tell him what went on. Toriko's been kidnapped. And he goes on his merry way. Let's see if we can get in here. And there's a little more exposition on what went on. It's really depressing for all the Mimigas here. But Jack tells us that we're gonna have to go to the cemetery, which he was just guarding, so we're gonna go do that and meet some more enemies. This is the cemetery the little guy just took out as a pignon. Then this guy who kind of looks like an orange frog is the gravekeeper. He's kind of a pain in the butt if you don't know what you're doing, but if you just jump behind him, he's no problem. And that big pignon is over there is just that. It's the big pignon. I'm pretty sure that's the only one, but it respawns, so. Now, a little interesting tidbit here is the previous the previous head honcho of Mimiga Village was named Arthur, and now it's King, so King Arthur, that's why I said ruler. It's interesting. Also, the Mimiga we just met over here, this one over here, his name is Jack, and he looks like a rabbit. So, could it be said he's Jack Rabbit? Oh. Okay, that was a shitty pun, I apologize. Okay, now that we have Arthur's key, we're gonna go down to that building and we're gonna unlock it. Typically what you do when you get a key to a locked door. Alright. Now it's pretty standard here. There's some beds, a save point, which I'm going to use. We're gonna save. On the blackboard, you can see that there's a little Mimiga drawing, and I'm not sure what the thing on the right is. Flowers, but the red variety, so you know what the guy in the farm said about those. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why they were in someone's basement. I'll figure that out later. I'll also figure out a lot of other things. So let's go on here. Allow teleportation to the egg carrier, or corridor, sorry. Got Sonic on the brain, I suppose. Now, we're in the egg corridor now, so I'm going to leave this off, and I'll see you all again in episode 2.